Hello, today is November 19th, 2022. I'd like to begin to introduce a a project I've been working on for the last few weeks, and it involves a dome, a dome structure. As you can see on this rendering, it is a residential dome, and it is a small structure, comparatively small. However, it is versatile, very useful, very flexible as far as its utility. It is quite strong, resilient, and it could be built in just about any environment. As you can see, I have it set in a tropical environment here, but it's not necessarily has to be in such environment. It could be again built and used in just about any environment. It is built for uh, again residential use. It is a very uh, versatile design as far as where it could be built, and it is highly energy efficient. It is self-reliant when it comes to the resources in its environment surroundings. It is designed to use as little energy as possible, both electric and energy. Uh, when it comes to using water services, it is built or designed. It is designed to collect rainwater where rainwater is available, or snow melt, which is again water. It is designed to collect and use this water. It is designed to recycle water, as well as to save energy by not using uh, a lot of electrical energy or any other heats or cooled air. It utilizes its environment to cool the inside when it's hot outside and warm the inside when it's cold outside. It uses the concept of convection through its design, which I will show you momentarily. First, to go into some of the uh, reasoning why this is a good idea. The shape of the dome, again, is among the strongest structures. Uh, evident Evidence for that is the shape of the human skull. The cranium is a dome structure which has evolved over millions of years to this shape because of its strength, durability, resilience, and ability to protect the inside. This shape most likely evolved because of necessity through the millennia, and again, it is evidence without going into too much detail uh, why this is a good shape, a efficient shape when it comes to protection, when it comes to use of space, use of materials. It is the shape that uses the least material for the most amount of space for construction and living, dwelling. And it is no surprise why it is all over nature. It is used throughout nature very many times, repeatedly. As we can see here, turtle shells also utilize the shape of a dome, again, for its protection, for its durability, and its strength to resist pressure from just about any angle. And When you build a conventional home, this is what you get. Conventional homes are nothing but a combination of boxes and triangles, which require an extensive amount of materials. As you can see here, complex construction methods, very skilled labor is it's required, and a very large amount of time is also required for the construction of conventional homes. And this shape that you see here, these shapes, combination of shapes, are um, not the most resistant to pressures, and it is only a wonder why we so much use these shapes for home construction. The overwhelming amount of homes are constructed in these shapes and patterns. And as you can see here, the large amount of materials required to keep this frame erect and uh, up, it is immense, the amount of materials required, and the cost for its construction reflects this amount of materials, time, and skill required. This is a example of a small frame for a conventional home. Again, even for a small home, you can see the large amount of materials required. A dome is a self uh, contained structure. It is a self reliant structure, meaning that it stands on its own. It doesn't require internal uh, columns or internal members to keep it up, to keep it in its shape. And that is why every hard hat is designed in such way, using the dome shape, because of its ability to resist impacts and resist all kinds of pressures from just about all sides. This is again a conventional home construction. As you can see, it is using concrete blocks, and as you can see, the large amount of material used for the roof, because most roofs have to be in this shape for durability. Flat roofs are highly undesirable and expensive and require large amounts of steel members and trusses to keep it both from collapsing and keep them straight without sag and stuff like that. So the large amount of triangles here are to keep the roof both straight and to keep it from collapsing. As you can see here, constructing even a small home like this one with concrete and blocks requires a large amount of not only skill and time, but materials as well. These are the different block sizes. And again, the dome home is to be built. This one is to be built with concrete, both poured and um, blocks. As you can see, it is a concrete block structure mainly, utilizing concrete block construction in a circular fashion with some poured concrete in some of its features like the door frame and window frames. And perhaps on the dome itself, there are some sections, as I have designed it, that will use poured concrete. This is a reinforced concrete or block concrete structure. It does utilize steel rebar or reinforcing bars of steel, but even those are a lot less than a conventional home would use. Again, this home does not require any interior supporting walls at all. If there are interior walls, that could be constructed of just about any other materials just for division, organization, or privacy. And with that, I will begin to show you the construction methods that I have come up with for the construction of this dome home. Again, as you can see, it is designed to collect water. This is a water collection system, water reservoir system that I have come up with. Again, that will be collected through rainfall in this area. This is like a water reservoir pool, if you will, around the structure that will maintain water as long as it is not vaporized. And again, vaporization and exposure to radiation is a way to keep it clean. That is the radiation from the sun. This is another view of the concept of this dome home. As you can see, it is almost entirely built with concrete blocks. I have come up with this array, this circular array, that really does not require complex patterns of the blocks. This is a monolithic dome pattern for the structure. Monolithic domes have the advantage of simplicity, being a lot more simple than perhaps geodesic domes or other types of complex patterns. For a dome, this is a pattern that keeps the arc patterns of each of these sections straight arcs, and as you can see, they don't reach all the way across because of the the size of each block. These blocks are standard sized. I believe they are about 20 centimeters across, and they're all standard. All these blocks are about the same, or are the same size. And again, this is designed like that for simplicity. They are arranged exactly as they would be in actuality, in real life. And these red areas are filled in poured concrete, and it is done in a way that I will show you as we move along, which is again a very relatively easy way to do. Again, these columns, these arcs are all steel reinforced with minimal reinforcement with rebar, steel rebar, of course curved to take the shape of the dome. But again, they are minimal. They don't require a large amount of reinforcement because of the stability, and the shape of the dome itself will almost keep its shape its structural integrity even without uh, steel reinforcement. The steel reinforcement is just there uh, as a guide and also for reinforcement in case of any other uh, seismic event or any extreme weather event that may require the steel reinforcement, and also for uh, durability. The walls and the frames, both doors and windows, are also steel reinforced with minimal steel reinforcement. The floor is also steel reinforced. This is another view of the structure. This is a view of the structure from the inside. A view of the structure as seen from top, the top inside, more or less a second level. This structure is built or designed to have the capability or have the option to stack a second floor very easily or relatively easy with materials like steel or even wood. You can easily or relatively easily build a walls, supporting walls, and a second level here because it offers the height necessary for a second level. And I will go into the details uh, of the structure as I go along. As far as sizes, measurements, dimensions, etc. This is a rendering of the structure, quite nice rendering, and again showing the reservoir, water reservoir. I designed the structure as a structure to have this water reservoir as optional. You can build it, of course, without it. You just will not have the capability to store water. This is again another view from the inside. This is a conceptual view, concept of what it would look like from the inside with the front door open. And a side view that right there is a very large window with large doors on each side. And I got away from using other materials such as in my other dome project because I realized that this is actually cheaper to build, stronger, simpler, and more the materials for it are readily available in just about any part of the world. The materials are not exotic, are not something that will be developed in the future, something that is conceptual or non-existent, something that's expensive. These are very simple materials utilizing only blocks of concrete, utilizing steel, rebar, and utilizing concrete mix or poured concrete. And those are the only materials needed. Of course, the windows will use plexiglass or are designed to use either plexiglass or glass, but even those are quite optional. There are other materials that will be used like wood for the doors, but these are again materials that are readily available, and this design is quite flexible as far as what materials you use. For example, the doors, the window panes, you can use either wood or aluminum or steel for the doors. You can use glass or plexiglass or even wood or aluminum or metal. This not necessarily has to be a pane. This could be uh, window blinds made of materials such as, again, wood or aluminum or other kind of metal, like even steel. So it is a quite versatile design that could be changed and adjusted as the builder wishes. This is a front view showing the very large arched doors. These doors are designed to be large on purpose for flexibility of bringing in materials, furniture, the flexibility of using the structure for any, just about any utility, such as even vehicle storage uh, or any kind of other equipment storage. But it can easily be used for living as well, just as it is. This view shows you a few individuals of average heights, and it shows you a relative size of what the structure can be as designed. These individuals again are about 5'6" or 7, or 5'6" or 5'7". Again, average individuals, which just gives you an idea of the size of the structure. As you can see, it is a quite tall structure, giving you the ability to easily build a second level if you wished on the interior of the structure. This gives you an idea of the height of the structure again as looked from some distance. Again, that is a average sized individual. And that is the dome home, the structure that I have been designing. That is how it it may look. That is how it may look. So I'm going to introduce the building methods, which is almost as important as its design. The methods to build it. Again, the methods to build it are not the only ones, but I believe these are among the most uh, optimal, among the most efficient, useful, practical methods, since I gave it quite a bit of thoughts as I was designing it. As you can see here, this is a view of a scene of a patch of land, a section of land here that has been chosen or made to be in a sort of a hilltop. I put this structure on a hilltop purposefully to allow for rain to naturally run away from the center of the structure. This bar here depicts the center of the circular base of the structure. This would be basically an excavation for the floor of the structure. Again, this being the center. And having it on a slight hilltop will allow for drainage, naturally occurring drainage away from the structure to prevent, again, flooding and to allow for the ease of the building of the structure without having to raise it, to raise the floor too much from the the grade or the ground level. In this case, I did it. I'm showing it. I will show the floor slab, concrete floor slab, level with the ground. But of course, if this is not possible or it is not desired, then you would have to raise the floor level to whatever your uh, jurisdiction uh, requires. If you live in a flood zone, of course, it's going to be a lot higher than if you don't live in a flood zone. So I would recommend you look at your jurisdiction and their requirements. The jurisdiction having authority, or AHJ. This is a top view, aerial view of what it would look like. Of course, this is set in a small island setting, which is not realistic, but it is just something I chose to do. And this is the excavation required. Of course, dimensions will be given in the construction drawings, but roughly this is a 720, 730, 740 centimeter circular pattern excavated to a certain depth, I believe to be about 200 centimeters deep for the footing. Again, this excavated pattern, circular pattern here is for the footing of the structure. And of course, this area is at a lower grade than this area by about 13 centimeters or so. Again, don't go by the dimensions I'm giving you. I'm just giving you rough estimations of the dimensions. The dimensions will be in the construction drawings. Construction drawings and documents, again, will be freely available for anyone interested in this project or construction concept. Again, a little bit of a better view of the excavation here. Again, a circular excavation with this grade lower than that grade to allow for both the footing all around and the concrete slab. Again, the concrete slab will be reinforced with steel rebar. This center tube, pipe, or bar, again, is in the absolute center of the excavation. and it is again about 200 300 centimeters deep, and it is encased in concrete for stability, to keep this stable, because this will be used for the construction of the steel reinforced concrete slab. And not only that, but this will be used for the construction of the walls, for the construction of the dome itself. So this has to be perfectly perpendicular with the ground. It should be as straight up as humanly possible, and it needs to be in the perfect center of this circle, because these again will be used for many other tasks which will require rotation. Again, rotation making this construction more efficient and easier and less wasteful and more rapid than conventional construction, requiring much measurement. Conventional construction requires more measurement, more time, more skill, more materials than this construction that I am uh, showing, that I am offering to you. So here we go. This is showing the same pattern, and I am here beginning to show the uh, wood members that will be used to pour the footing, the circular footing. I am here also showing the steel bars or rebar that will be used all around the structure. These are again in a pattern that will match the concrete blocks. So of course the dimensions, the distance in between them, the placement of them, the height of each, the depth of each will be detailed in the construction drawings. As you can see, an arc here, pattern to allow for the windows, an opening here to allow for the doors. So this will all be shown in the construction documents. And as you can see, it is not many. This structure does not require a whole lot of rebar because of its inherent stability, strength, resilience, etc. So this being the grade, for pouring concrete, I show here the wood placed in a circular pattern all around to keep to keep the circular shape when the concrete is poured. This is just getting ready for concrete to be poured inside here. Again, showing the center column bar. This bar is to be made of a non-corrosive material, perhaps high grade PVC, schedule 80 or better, or it could be steel, it could be a metal, as long as it is coated for non-corrosion. But it has to be very straight, as straight as possible, and very durable. And the dimensions for it, the size, again, is detailed in the construction drawings. This is another view of that, and this is a view of the concrete footing poured already. As you can see, the grade is here in line with the footing, and this is the footing with the steel reinforcement shown. You want this to be as smooth and as straight as possible, because this will be used as a guide, a track, a rail if you will, to pour and smooth and to level your floor. The concrete floor slab will be in line with this, so you want this to be as straight and smooth as possible, which is not that difficult to do given the guide wood panels here. So a lot of care is to be taken for this structure to be made as straight as possible, because this again will aid in the construction of the floor slab and will make it a lot easier than a conventional squared floor, which you have to level so much. You have to level, and many times it's not really level because of the construction methods used. There's a lot of eyeballing and guessing and just making it as straight as possible. But with this method right here, this center will be used as a guide, and the outside is also used as a guide, so it is very accurate to have a very straight, very level floor, which is your foundation, which is basically what's going to determine how straight and how strong and durable your structure will be in the end. And we'll leave it at that for now. We'll pick up on the next video. Thanks for watching.